Hello. Thank you for joining On Air with Russell of Hotels. You know, it's been a great week. It's been a great week already. It's only Tuesday, okay? And it's even going to get better because today we have a guest on. So thank you guys so much for joining today. This is show number 344, if you can believe it or not. As you can see, we have a guest today, Miss Amy Branford with Guest Revenue. Guest Review. I'm sorry, Guest Review. I want to say revenue. I don't know why I say that, but yeah. So we're gonna get it right. We're gonna get it right. But yeah. So I want to thank Amy for coming on, agreeing to come on, and she didn't know that we're going to be live on all four platforms, which is LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. So no, we thank you for coming on. So welcome to the show, Amy.
Thanks, Russell. Thanks for having me. I'm so excited. I'm a bit nervous now. I'm live on all four.
No. You know what? We gotta be everything to everybody. So we want to reach as many people as we can, especially because you're on here. Because there may be some good insight that people may not know, and you can never. One thing about doing all the platforms, I don't know who watches, how to reach, who the people I'm going to reach, right? Or who really needs to hear this. So it's good that you go to multiple platforms because you just don't know how people are going to buy you. And that's, I always say that, people like, oh, I'm only going to focus on these. But, although I do focus on LinkedIn for the most part, but, I want to bring everybody else along for the ride. So what the heck?
Yeah, no, absolutely. You got to. I mean, with my show Back of House Banter, I also put it on multiple channels. So it's just a bit nerve-wracking being live. So thank you for having me so much.
You are more than welcome. Now the comments are open, so people may be making comments during the show. Hopefully they're pleasant and they're good. They're not rude. But hey, we take them all. We take them as they come, right? So, and then what I'll do as people make comments, I'll put them on the screen in real time, so that way you can actually see them. In fact, I see one right now. Let's see. It says, "Hey, I'm watching." Oh, that's Tiffany. Okay, that's Tiffany Velvet Style Biz. I appreciate you coming on. So Tiffany kind of comes on, and I'm not sure if you watched me on Monday. I do a daily check-in on Monday, and Tiffany is my guest host. So she'll come on, and then we'll talk about things, just random stuff within the meetings industry or hospitality industry as it relates to meetings and stuff like that. So thank you so much, Tiffany. I do appreciate you coming on, and feel free to make your comments as we move forward. But let me check.
As long as they're nice.
Yes, as long as they're nice. Exactly. So what I'm going to do to get this party started, I'm going to get my iPad out so I can read an introduction. Okay, so I'm going to read the introduction or a bio from Miss Amy, and then we're going to get into it. Okay, so Amy gave me this long, lengthy bio, and she goes, "You have to read it." I'm like, "Oh, okay, well. If I have to read it, then I have to read it."
Okay. I gave you a short one too.
No, she gave me 3. Okay. Now I've never had anyone give me 3. They gave me 3 and said, "Hey, you pick the one that you want to pick," right? I'm like, "Oh no, I'll go with the long one," because it seemed like neither one of them were really long. But I said, you know what? Let me just pick the long one and we'll go from there. So this is Amy Branford's bio. Okay, so give me a minute to read that. As GuestRevu's UK regional sales manager, Amy is dedicated to helping hoteliers optimize their operations and enhance their online presence. Over a decade of expertise in sales, hospitality, and online reputation management, and a passion for driving positive change in the hospitality industry, she is more of a trusted friend and consultant to hoteliers than a salesperson. We like that. Whether sharing her insights on sales strategies, online reputation management, or the latest hospitality trends, Amy brings enthusiasm, expertise, and a genuine commitment to helping others succeed. Her charisma and intimate understanding of the on-ground hospitality operations make her an excellent host for GuestRevu's Back of the House Banter video series. I didn't know you had a video series where she interviews leading hoteliers and other hospitality industry leaders about their careers, life lessons, and aspirations. So without further ado, we want to welcome Miss Amy Branford to the show. So thank you so much, Amy, for coming on.
And I think I have to do a massive shout out because I think Sarah from our marketing team actually wrote that bio.
Oh,
It makes
okay. Thank you, Sarah.
Thanks, Sarah. But yeah, no, I've been in the industry for 10 years. So I am quite grey, but I use hair dye. The industry's made me a little bit thanks, hospitality. But no, it's such an exciting industry to be a part of, especially in the tech space, and being able to help go through that experience and understand what's going on. You know, that's one of the main fundamental things about GuestRevu, is giving hoteliers the power to utilize and harness their feedback, not just the online reviews, but the survey side as well, so that they make better decisions going forward.
Okay, very good, very good. Okay, so before we get into, like, I mean, I got like 100 questions that I can ask, right? And in no particular order, but how did you get into this? Okay, so your background was it in hotels or hospitality, or did you kind of, you know, end up there some kind of way?
So I think like most people in hospitality, I just kind of fell into it. I actually played professional polo till I was like 26.
Wow.
And I was working then in a family business to that, delivering eggs, and I was waitressing to subsidize, you know, some money coming in as I happened to serve the CEO quite a lot of GuestRevu, and apparently he wanted me to work for him. I think he might be regretting that 10 years down the line, but I'm still here, so maybe not so much. So yeah, from waitressing at different places to then coming into this tech side and actually understanding what it's all about and how we can use that data is really exciting.
Okay, so did you had a tech background somewhat, or you learned everything on the fly?
I learned everything on the fly. I'd never worked in an office. I was a farm girl through and through.
Wow.
But yeah, like it's been an amazing industry, and I think it's so collaborative. It's a very quick industry to learn and understand if you want to understand and learn and go through that. I actually started as sales support, sales support, helping the sales team, and I really wanted to get into it and actually, you know, sell and help advise hoteliers on what they should be doing. So yeah.
Wow. I always say that no two people got an industry alike, and you definitely fit that, right? Because who goes from being a farm girl working at a restaurant and then it evolves into something, you know, with like GuestRevu. I mean, that's interesting. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, and I think hospitality is really good at, you know, taking people in that maybe start, you know, in the bar or waitressing, and you get to work up and you can actually have a career in it. You don't need, you know, a massive degrees behind you, as long as you've got that willingness to learn and you find the right people to kind of work under. So that's one thing I really love about the opportunities that you get presented, you know, if you're driven, if you work hard, if you have that thirst for knowledge. So
yes, you hit it on the head right there when you said if you're willing to put in the work, yeah, you have, you know, the support of people around you, at least the people that hired you. I mean, that matters. I mean, that's definitely, you can start at the bottom and work your way up, because I know many people here that are now general managers that started off as like bellmen or dishwashers or whatever. So yeah, so it definitely one of the few industries where you can start at the bottom and work your way up. And next thing you know, you're running the hotel. And a lot of people are like, oh my God, how did that happen? Well, I mean, it happens because you put in the work, and we appreciate that. So thank you very much. I appreciate that, the background on your story. Now, where are you located?
So I'm in South Africa. If you look for where I'm located on the map, you will not find me. So I obviously for GuestRevu. My husband's actually a pig farmer, which is why the remote location. But it's right at the start of the Drakensberg in the Eastern Cape in South Africa.
Wow. Okay. See, I always truly let people know that Russell of Hotels is international, right? You can't get any more international than you being in South Africa right now, and I'm in Los Angeles, California. Okay, so this is great.
You've got to love our industry. You've got to love technology because it just allows us to connect, right? Everyone in hospitality is people normally.
Yes.
Maybe not so much, if you're in HR or one of those departments, but, we all love people, and that's why we get into the industry, I think, in the first place. So technology just allows us to connect and understand.
Yes, definitely. Now, do you travel for your job at all?
So I do travel a little bit. I've just done Indaba in Durban, and I also did Cape Town recently. But I haven't left South Africa for a few years, unfortunately, because we've got an international team, in the UK and things like that. So I typically tend to stay in South Africa. I look at hotels worldwide.
Okay, very good. And you have hotels here in the US as well, correct?
Yes, we do. We got some amazing clients out in the US. So shout out to all the GuestRevu clients out there that are watching today.
Okay. All right. So let's get into it a little bit. Okay. So give us a little background and a little information about GuestRevu. What does GuestRevu do? Because everybody, inquiring minds want to know. I mean, people have been calling me like, what is this GuestRevu thing? Who is this Amy person? So can you explain what GuestRevu is?
So GuestRevu is a guest intelligence solution. Basically what it does is it helps you consolidate all your feedback from your online review channels, and you can also do surveys through to your guests. Normally we connect with the PMS, so you have the full story of the guest journey and understanding their experience at your property, and you can carry on that communication afterwards by doing in-app responses to online reviews. So it gives you all the insights to action feedback and make operational decisions, but it also helps you with your online reputation, making those management responses a lot quicker, a lot easier to kind of follow through, and also driving online reviews through to sites like TripAdvisor and Google within the surveys as well, helps you with that online visibility. So in a nutshell, we're a guest feedback system that collates everything into one place.
Okay. Well, let me just throw a question up there for you. So, okay, when people say online reputation, what does that mean? Because I mean, I used to be on property, and it's been probably 7 years, kind of removed from there. My last position was a director of sales and marketing, and I remember, that coming up all the time, but not really understanding because I wasn't in operations. Not saying that that's not a director of sales responsibility, but it would always come up, but it would come up from the people like from TripAdvisor and things like that. It wouldn't come up internally in the hotel. So can you explain like what is an online reputation? How do you affect it? And how does your company help with an online reputation?
Okay, so your online reputation is typically your online review sites like Booking.com, Google, and all the. So you want to be generating as many online reviews as possible, especially in the AI age. Your guest's booking journey has changed so much, more so in the last 18 months than it has in the last decade, because guests are doing discovery what they used to. They're using, sites like ChatGPT, and they're putting in the description of what they want their experience to be like. And it's actually really interesting. TripAdvisor just released their Trendcast report, and it really kind of shows that guests are looking for an experience rather than a place to stay, which kind of fits in with that AI model of that discovery, finding that out through the LLMs and what criteria they're putting in, and then the AI is suggesting which properties to stay at. Now the AI is based off the online reviews, so that's why your online reputation is so important. So it's getting reviews online from your guests after they've stayed, and it's also doing those management responses. One, that helps your online visibility. Two, it helps guests make that decision whether they're going to book your property or book a different property. I think a recent stat was 68% of guests will choose a hotel that responds to online reviews over the one that doesn't. So if you're not responding to your online reviews, you really want to be. And it's very much about being proactive. So if you can get guests to leave TripAdvisor and Google reviews and things like that, that's going to drive your online reputation. TripAdvisor obviously has 4 parts to their algorithm. So it's not just on the bubble rating within the review. Blah, blah, blah. It's also about the consistency, the quality, and the quantity of those reviews that you're getting driven to. So you can be proactive and do that in survey functionality. And you can also, be just reactive and do online management responses, but the proactive properties are definitely going to win in the AI age.
Interesting. So, okay. So you need to respond to those things, right? You need to respond because I remember, well, when I was on property, people were like, well, who's going to do it? They're hesitant to do it. Especially if they got, if it was a bad review or whatever. Well, how do I respond? What should I say? This and that. Who's going to do it? Is it you? Is it going to me? So it matters that we do respond, or hotels do respond. Does it matter how they respond?
Definitely. So you always, now, GMs and people that are responding always take it very personally. Hasn't great experience, and sometimes that guest is just someone that you don't want back, and they've left a seething review that is not like their experience at all, but that's what they've put online. So what you have to do is you have to separate that experience of love for your industry and your property and your staff, and kind of go back and just be calm when you're making that management response. Think about the potential guest that is going to be reading it and making that decision. So a negative review is a really good opportunity to show potential guests how you can shine. And there's also functionality out there like AI management responses that can help you draft, that specific response to a negative review. I always suggest that you read, if you're using AI, and make sure that it's, in line with what you want to say, but it does just help with that conversation and take some of that emotion out of the response that you want to put. So always potential guests in mind.
Okay. And since you keep mentioning AI, so of course that was one of the questions I had on here. How does AI fit into the future of online reviews and guest feedback? I mean, you mentioned that we could use those things as tools. We can use AI as tools to respond to it. But is that always the best way of doing it, or what would you suggest?
So I think AI has been the hottest topics, definitely in the UK and South Africa and Europe for the last 2 years. I think it definitely has been in America as well. And I think hoteliers are figuring out how to use it and where to use it. Some people went, yay, it can replace my staff and do all of those things. I don't think that is the purpose of AI. I think AI should be there to help your team be more efficient, quicker, but it shouldn't replace, people at all. Hospitality is always going to be a people first industry. It's going to be people that give an experience to a guest, and that guest is always going to remember the people that they meet along the way. So can AI do that? Probably not. Can it help you crunch data at reporting level? Absolutely. Can it help you spot trends? So instead of spending hours sifting through reports, you can see that trend, identify and get it fixed really quickly. Absolutely. It can help you do that. So it's about using it in the right places, because there is a lot of AI out there. So I think you've got to understand your guest journey, know where you want your guest journey to look like, and then look at where AI can fill in any gaps. Maybe it's, you get a lot of questions from your website at 1 o'clock in the morning because you've got international travelers. Then AI could help you there, being with a chatbot or something like that. So it's just about figuring out what your guest journey or ideal guest journey looks like, and where you can
Okay, because I can see myself getting those reviews, whatever they are, good, bad, or indifferent, copy and paste and put them in Chat GPT and ask it to respond. Give me a response to this.
Okay. So, ChatGPT is a learning model. So if you put something in it, it learns from it. So if your competitors are really clever, they can do a bit of AI search and find out how you're responding to reviews and things like that. So definitely, I would steer clear of putting all of the information into a system like ChatGPT. Like for us, we use AI in our back end, but we anonymize everything. So, it can't learn from it. It's specific. And then as it comes back out of the AI. And so that happens in milliseconds, obviously. But yeah, you want to make sure that if you're doing responses, you tend to use a system that's designed for hospitality that isn't going to negatively impact you somewhere later down the line.
Okay. So what you're saying is you don't suggest that. What I just said, you don't suggest that.
No, and
okay.
And each response should be unique. So we used to hear, 3-4 years ago, oh, how many templates can we have? Can we have one for good reviews, one for bad reviews? But then you look on your TripAdvisor page or you look on your booking.com page and put your guest hat on. How do all those management responses look? Are they the same? Do they look like they're coming from AI? Do they look like they're coming from a template? Make sure each one is like just slightly personalized, because that gives off the emotion that you actually really care about the guest that left that review. And that's what's going to speak to the potential guests.
Okay. I got you. Because I guarantee people, the same thing that I just mentioned, some people are doing that, because you can tell if it's an AI generated response, if you will. So, okay. All right. I like that. I see a comment here from Miss Tiffany. It says, I agree. I want to see properties respond to comments. Also, I want to see them take responsibility for any issues that arise and not get defensive in the comments.
Yeah, I think Tiffany's right on the money. Like, that guest that's left that comment that's negative is probably not going to come back. So what's the point in having a fight with somebody that you're never going to agree with? So rather write the response based on the potential guest that's going to read that and make a booking to make that decision. You can pick up, with your team internally what happened with the guest that was unhappy, but you don't need to air dirty laundry on the internet.
Got you. Okay. I have another. Okay, here's another question. Are reviews different when a guest books direct versus through an OTA?
No, I don't think so. I think it's based on the guest experience that they have at that property. I think sometimes, when somebody books through an OTA, it can be a little bit frustrating. And that's why you really need to have two strategies. Once a guest is checking in and they've come through a bookings.com email address or something like that, do try and convert them to give you their personal email address, because that means you can remarket to them. It's 25% cheaper to keep a repeat customer than find a new one. So as soon as they start that booking journey, no matter where they've come from OTA wise, you want to start converting them to booking direct on their next day. So I would see that much difference in the scores within the online reviews from bookings.com or TripAdvisor, depending on where they've booked from. But what you will see is if your guest experience is exceptional, then you're going to get exceptional reviews, whether they've booked direct or through bookings.com.
That's interesting, because I would think, because I know how hotels, not every hotel, how they treat the people that come through third parties. They don't get the best rooms. They get what's left over. They don't like them because they book through a third party. I mean, those are things that are factual, that I've seen, that I've heard. So that's why I asked that question, because it just seems like there'd be more issues, or there'd be more negative reviews from them than it would be from someone that booked direct. So I'm totally off base when it comes to that.
No, I don't. You may very well see that through the different types of properties. Five-star luxury property, it doesn't matter whether they book through bookings.com or whether they book direct with you. You're going to give them that 5-star experience. Obviously, every hotelier wants every guest to book direct, but it's about converting those ones that did book through the OTAs, because that's your chance to get them to book direct next time. So OTAs are always going to hold an important place, I think, in that booking journey, because they help you get in front of new people. You know, we've now got the AI optimization coming in, where you're getting, putting in their criteria of what they're looking for, and AI can suggest you. So, that is reading through the reviews and going, this fits your criteria, so have a look at this property, and it will suggest your website. So now's a really good time for hoteliers to be driving those direct bookings, by increasing online reviews and doing management responses. But, I think it's very unfair if you treat a guest that books through an OTA different from one that books direct, because then you're not going to get them to book direct next time. It's almost like you need 2 strategies, one for those that book direct and ones that you want to book direct next time. So, sometimes you've got to work harder with the OTA ones as opposed to the direct bookers, I think.
No, you're right. You're right. I mean, I have my tainted views on certain things, but I just remember, and I've been removed from working on property for about 7 years. So maybe things have changed since I've been on property, but I just remember a lot of this, a lot of the talk, a lot of the conversation when it was, operations, front office operations, had to do with that. And I would say 90% of the issues that happen to be the people that came through OTAs for whatever reason, but were we able to convert those people? I mean, that's always the issue. So, how, and this may be totally different or off topic or whatever, but how, other than getting information, I guess when they check in, how do you convert? How would you suggest a hotel convert someone that's booking, through a third party to book direct?
I think that's really through the guest experience, that they're receiving at the hotels. Guests are really looking for, an experience first travel, and having a look at TripAdvisor, that. So, I mean, the better the experience, the more likely you are to get them to book direct. So it's just worth taking that little bit of effort. Like, one thing that we do at GuestRevu is you can thank you guest responds to your survey. So even if they've got a bookings.com email, we'll still ask them for that survey feedback. And then we look, so much for your feedback. Here's a 5% discount when you book direct and link in your website. So there's different ways to get them to convert if you can't get that email address straight away. And some people are more comfortable booking on a bookings.com site because it's never stayed at your property before. They're a bit worried about putting their card details into your website or things like that. So, the people that they meet along the way is going to reassure them that next time that booking is going to be better when they do it direct, and, everything's going to be safe.
Okay. I got you. Hey, we're on with Amy Branford with GuestRevu. Her information right there. If you have any questions at all, you can always, it's okay. Did I put your email down here?
Absolutely. Email me away, guys. You'll also find me on LinkedIn.
Okay.
So you can hit me up anyway.
Okay. So she's on LinkedIn, but her email is right here. So feel free to reach out to her. I just want to put this on now. I'll put it at the end of the show as well, but I needed a break into action. So, so we're on with, or Amy's on with us. We're talking about GuestRevu. Some of the things that maybe some of the hotels are missing out on. Maybe we need, I don't know if you use GuestRevu at all, but maybe you need to look into that. The website is in there as well, GuestRevu.com. That's pretty easy, right? So there you go. So I just wanted just a quick introduction of Amy again, and as well as her email address and the company that she represents. So if you have any questions at all, you want to follow along as we're talking, go to GuestRevu.com and check it out and see exactly what they do. It may be something that maybe your hotel needs. I mean, from reputation management to surveys to reporting, AI features, extras, and add-ons and integrations. You may need any of that stuff or some of that stuff. So anyway, obviously, I read your website. So
Yeah, you did a good job. We also look after multi-property, so we are also group orientated. So whether you're a small independent or whether you're a large group, we cater for everybody in the hospitality. We are hospitality specific. So we're very passionate about what we do. Our support is absolutely phenomenal worldwide. So if you want to check out our reviews, you can pop over to Hotel Tech Report and you'll see a lot of reviews from our current clients as well.
Okay, very good. Now, okay, that just made me think of something. Okay, so do you only do hotels, online reputation, or do you do like restaurants as well?
Yeah, we do restaurants as well. So we have quite a few restaurants. So definitely in the UK, pubs are very popular. So in the US, that's taverns. So yeah, we connect with like Res Diary. So we can send out emails through the point of sales, but you can also utilize on bills or have them on the menu items and gather feedback that way, because reviews for restaurants are just as important. So we do cover restaurants, spas, activities, anything to do with the hospitality industry, hotels, hostels, to massive hotel groups.
Okay, very good, very good. Okay, another question: which departments slash people should be involved on property, meaning the hotel people? So which are they general managers? Are they their front office managers? Who should be involved with responding to certain things? I guess it depends on the department, right?
Yeah, so it really depends on the property. So like there's so many different aspects to the guest feedback. There's responding to online reviews, which sometimes reception do, sometimes GMs do, sometimes marketing does. So that's really dependent on how your property operates and who has time for that. But then you've also got things that you need to action. So, you might get some negative comments about housekeeping. You need your housekeepers to know and understand that. So your guest feedback should be shared and accessible across the whole team. We give you, GuestRevu gives unlimited users because we've got functionality like service tickets. So you can actually action feedback and get things done and resolved before the next guest comes in, or you start to see that in your online reviews. So I actually think everybody involved in the guest experience and understanding how their role is impacting those guests.
Gotcha. Now you mentioned a while ago that people are looking for more of an experience. What like, is that within the hotel? Is that outside the hotel?
So I think that's like pet friendly hotels, they've increased. The people that are looking for pet friendly experiences has increased, I think 260% over the last year.
Wow.
And this is obviously coming from TripAdvisor's trend report. I mean, the Boston Marathon, here's one for the Americans, that saw an increase in traveler interest by 300% this year. So, it's different experiences, like guest experience. And it's not about the location anymore necessarily. It's about what you offer with that, whether it's a dog-friendly experience, itinerary that the kids are going to be happy and it's going to experience and things like that. So you're seeing different things impacting different types of guests at different points in their lives, I think. But instead of it being price and a bum in a bed, guests are looking for an experience that they're going to go away with for a lifetime.
Okay. Now, are people trending more towards more of the full service hotels and less of the, like, say, limited service or select service hotels, like a Hilton Garden Inn or whatever, versus a full service JW Marriott or something like that?
I think it really depends on what they're looking for. I think, you know, your younger demographic's going to look for a different experience to your older international travelers.
Mm-hmm.
So I think for different types of properties, it's understanding what you're really good at and making sure that you're telling, you know, on your website, the perfect type of guest that's experience. Like you've got a 5-star spa, you've got a Michelin restaurant, you've got this. So this is the whole package. This is the experience that you're going to have when you book with us. Whereas when you're a hostel, you want to be saying there's a fantastic nightlife, there's a beach bar down the road, you know, you're going to meet fantastic people in our common area, you know, and things like that. So there's different ways to sell different experiences, but it's about being honest about those experiences that you can deliver. I think is guest expectations has got so, you know, it's increasing all the time. AI is gonna, I'm sure, help it increase some more, which means hoteliers kind of understand their brand and what guests are saying, what they're feeling, what they're thinking about that stay, and utilizing that not just in their online review responses, but in their marketing material as well, so that they really call out to the potential guests that they're an ideal fit for.
Okay. Now, do you see that like independent brands, not well-known brands, are do they get better reviews than like a branded hotel, like say a major brand like a Hilton or Marriott? And I'm speaking of hotels here in the States.
Once again, I think it's down to what a guest expects, right? If they want a bum in a bed and they want to pay $200, then they're not going to, you know, worry so much. If they're spending $600, then they want a very different experience. I think, you know, as long as you're being honest about the offering, your reviews will be honest and positive because you delivered what that guest expected. It's aligning what you want.
Okay. Very good.
If you, I mean, it's like anything, right? If you overpromise and underdeliver, that leaves people mad. I know sometimes I overpromise and underdeliver when, you know, my husband's hungry. So I know he gets cross. And it's the same experience. Like if you sell something that you don't do, guests you up about it online. If you're not utilizing a survey, you know, surveys can sometimes stop quite a lot of that negative feedback going out online. But if you don't have that as a safety net, then you're going to see the guests that really had that expectation met leave really good reviews. You're going to see that hated their stay leave bad reviews. And actually 80% of guests that, you know, had an okay stay but didn't think about leaving a review, they're just not going to say anything because you never asked them to.
Interesting. Okay, very good. Any current trends you know about?
Trends, it really has to be AI still. I think people are looking at how they can utilize that within tech stacks. When I was in Durban last week, you know, it was very much being proactive with AI. So looking at, you know, how they can adjust their keywords and make sure that they're impacting the AI in a positive way to draw those new types of guests in. So right now, I think the hottest trend is still AI. And I think we're going to see that for a little while, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't think we've scratched the surface on AI in any aspect of the hospitality industry. But you know, one thing I always say, and I mean, you may be able to make a comment on this, is that hotels are the hotel industry or hospitality industry. And I'm just asking, do you see this as well? Because this is what I see. Are they the last to kind of embrace technology?
Now, if you'd asked me 2 years ago, I would have 100% said yes, right?
Okay.
I've had so many conversations, and I think hoteliers are really jumping on AI because it's going to make their lives so much easier. Making them review their tax at the moment. So I'm talking to hotels both in the US, in Europe, the UK and in South Africa that are going through that process of PMS, booking engine, revenue management system, and looking at, what's ideal for their guest journey, for what they need it to do. So I think hoteliers really come and stepped up a lot in the last 2 years as to, how to use technology in the right way. So I think it's really exciting.
Okay. All right. Oh, see that was good. I'm glad. I'm glad to hear that, because, like I said, I've been on property for a minute, so there's certain things, when it comes to social media and things like that, for me, because I'm heavy in involved in social media, and that's what made me, I guess, ask that question, because I don't see it being embraced as far as marketing your brand, a lot more. When I hear about online reputation, I mean, I understand it from a GuestRevu point of view, but online reputation as it comes to like posting things about your hotel and being visible like they should be, you know what I mean? So I guess I have two different ways of looking at that.
Yeah, and social proofing is so cool. Use your feedback that the guests have given you. Obviously, you need to get them to opt in to sharing those comments, but that's great free content for your marketing team to put across LinkedIn or Facebook or wherever. It gives you brand awareness. It's new content. It's amazing to be able to do that and use it. And a hotel doesn't move. It's going to get different seasons for different pictures outside. It might have a different menu every now and again. But one thing that is always changing is the people that are walking through your doors and experiencing what you've got to offer. So they've got the best things to say. So utilizing those comments across social media is a win-win.
So you help them with that? Is that something that GuestRevu does?
Yeah, so they can opt into sharing their comments across social media sites from within the survey. So then the hoteliers or marketing teams can pull that data and utilize it however they would like. It's definitely something that they should be doing. I know I've got some hotels that do it really well, and I've got some hotels that don't do it at all. So I also have a lot of hotels that were still using spreadsheets 6 months ago, and I've moved over to GuestRevu and revolutionized the way they do stuff. So there are still hotels out there that do it the old school way. And I think, they are the ones that are really worried about getting left behind at the moment. So they're kind of trying to jump on that bandwagon and really kind of understand the importance of the tech stack and the online reviews and how to drive those. So a lot going on hoteliers at the moment. And definitely one of those things is, how AI is going to impact them, how they can utilize that. But they have to remember that hospitality is always going to be people first. So don't try and replace people, because it's people that are going to ultimately give your guests that experience. I think Richard Branson said it so well, look after your guests. So I'm paraphrasing there.
No, I like that. Let's see. I'm sorry. I have a comment here. It says, one of my favorite Miami hotels has a rooftop yoga on Saturdays and a weekend rooftop party with a DJ. It's free for guests. I do appreciate unique experiences at hotels. Oh, okay. Is that something they should put on their social postings or somewhere in the tools that you help them with?
Using that site and anywhere that the AI can pick up on that, because when a guest's Google searching in ChatGPT for something unique to do in Miami, at a property, that will be something that then AI will pick up on if you've got guests mentioning it and it's in your website and easy to find. So definitely they should be mentioning that. It's a unique experience that guests will levitate to. I think, sports and yoga and anything with fitness is a trend in our industry right now. Like we're seeing, more travelers go to Boston for the Boston Marathon and things like that. So, you've got to use what is unique to you and shout about it and get some photos and stick them on your social media.
And that will help with their ranking. Yes. Right.
So if they're giving that experience, those guests that are loving it are going to leave more reviews. So you've got to ask them for them to, leave a review. So,
Okay.
If they're checking out and you've not got a system like GuestRevu in place, then make sure the reception team is Google reviews or TripAdvisor reviews are, so that they actually know to go and leave them.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, we're heading to the end of this, and I just have a couple questions left. Now, what would you say hotels are not doing enough of it you wish they were doing more of?
Oh, that's a hard one, Russell.
Well, that's what I'm here to do, right? Get some hard questions in there. Nah, just in your experience. I mean, if you have something, you have something. If not, I understand.
No, I really think that there are a lot of hotels that are not responding to their online reviews, and they're missing the potential of how potential guests are going to be viewing that. So they'll be losing bookings just by not responding, not because their reviews aren't great, but because their competitors to their on reviews, so they'll rather book them over the hotel that doesn't. So that would be my thing. Like, really appreciate the guests that do respond to online reviews and leave you reviews, and then make sure that you do that, because potential guests are looking at that. 68% of guests are making decisions on whether you respond or not. So I would like to see more responses within the online review space. I also think that there is a wealth of knowledge. Hotels have so much data. You've got data in your PMS, you've got data in your CRM, you've got data in your guest feedback solution. You've got to learn to action it. Take those insights and make it actionable, because that's going to impact your guest experience. And that is how you're going to level up and keep up with the guest experience as it grows in the coming years. So, you shouldn't be looking at tons of spreadsheets and trying to figure out what that trend is. There are systems out there to help you do that. So, really action your feedback and understand the insights that your guests are telling you.
Okay. Now you've been with GuestRevu for 10 years. Is that what you said?
10 years.
They've been around.
This year, June.
Wow. Okay. And how long have they been around?
We've been around since around 2012. We actually started as a company called Survey Shack back in the day, but our head office is actually next to a hotel in Port Alfred. And the GM came over and mentioned that he needed a survey for the hotel. And that's how it started. And then we went specifically to the hospitality industry, and we've not looked back since. I think we're in 120 something countries with over. Yeah, it's exciting. It's been amazing personal growth for me, starting off, in a very small role, to now coming on your show, Russell. I feel like a superstar.
Stop. Okay, that's enough, Amy. That's enough.
And I think, what's really important for us is working as a partner with the properties that come on board with GuestRevu. Like, the tech is changing so quickly. We want to understand, what's impacting TMs, the team that we can alleviate those issues for. So it's always evolving. No 2 days are the same. And I think trends are, obviously AI at the moment, but that's going to, what's going to be the next trend? That's the exciting thing, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. Now, what is the most asked question that you get from some of your clients? Is it AI?
No, I wouldn't say necessarily AI at the moment. People are always terrified about driving bad reviews through to online review sites. So it definitely has to be when we discuss the surveys and pushing reviews through to TripAdvisor. GuestRevu is a platinum partner, so we can incorporate it directly in the survey. And, hotels go, oh, but isn't that going to increase my negative reviews? It's not. Typically, our clients see 100 to 300% increase in the volume of reviews and a 4% increase in the bubble rating. Unhappy guests are still going to go on and leave you a negative review somewhere, but at least this way you know who it was and where it came from, and you can nail that management response, so you shine.
Okay. Okay. Now I've never seen a review from your company. Okay, a hotel review from your company. So is there? And I deal with a lot of group business, like 10 rooms or more, or whatever, conferences, conventions, retreats, and incentive programs, whatever. Is there specific things for group? I mean, is there a specific survey that would be sent out for that versus just a regular run of the mill?
So I think this is where, groups are great because they fill up the hotel quite quickly, but they only typically get the first, email, have that person that books, whether that's a tour operator. We see a lot of tour operators in South Africa for, all the national parks and seeing the big five and things like that, which is fantastic. It drives a lot of business, but you can't necessarily, you don't have all of those guest details to go and ask them about their experience or ask them to leave a review. So I always recommend, having QR codes or a kiosk mode in the property to gather that feedback as well. Because you want to know and understand that experience is in line with what you're offering. That way, the only way you can improve is if you understand what guests are actually experiencing and how they're feeling. And the only way to find that out is for them to actually tell you. And guests often will not come up to the front desk and complain. They'll just wait till their stay is over and then go and complain on all of the online review sites. And hoteliers are like, why didn't they just come to me? But it's because guests have been taught, I think, a lot. We don't have to go and fight this battle. We can just do it online and become a keyboard warrior. I think people like Facebook is full of keyboard warriors. So I'm sure people understand that term. And I think guests are the same. So like having maybe like an in-stay survey, just checking in so that if a guest is not happy with the shower or the bed linen or whatever it is, they've got that quick communication with the hotel so they can action it. But it's also not necessarily, face to face. There's that little bit of barrier so the guest's not worried that, you're going to pick on them for the rest of their stay.
I got you. So, okay. So I want to thank you for coming on. But before, we get off of this, how do you and I meet? I have to share this with people, right? Because there's a power in certain platforms that we use that a lot of people don't realize, or they don't use it to their potential. So can you just real quick, briefly explain how we met?
So I don't know if I'm going to say this right, because so we met through a mutual friend. Russell calls this person Paula C.
Yes.
So I always have to say it with a bit of sass because Paula C is very cool. She actually works for GuestRevu. I've known Paula since she was at Ask Suites originally. So I know, Russell, you've known her for the same amount of time as I have. So she actually introduced us through LinkedIn. And then now you're stuck with me as a friend for life.
That's fine. That's fine. See, I wanted you to say that because people sleep on LinkedIn. As far as, to me, it's a huge business development tool that I use, because without it, I'm not going to say there wouldn't be a Russell of hotels, but I would not be able to reach the amount of people that I reach, now. Once again, you're in South Africa. Okay. I'm in Los Angeles, California. Paula C's in Brazil. Okay. So those are people that are around the world that I, collaborate with. So I'm just saying, the reason why I'm saying this, the reason why I asked you, is because there's a power there that I think we take for granted, or we don't use it like we should. So I appreciate you coming on. 100%. Yes. And I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate you giving Paula C a shout out. So shout out to Paula C. Thank you so much. And the reason why I call her Paula C, because I cannot pronounce her last name. So, and then
neither can I. So actually, Paula, we have Paul and we have La. So it gets very confusing.
So Paula C, if you are there, thank you so much for for introducing me to Amy. I do appreciate it. And yes, you have a friend for life as well. So hopefully we can do this again. We'll collaborate again. Any questions at all? Anything? Anytime you need anything, I mean, feel free to reach out to me, and I'm here.
And same here. And people, don't forget to connect on LinkedIn. As Russell mentioned, it is a massive powerhouse. So go do some new connections today and see where it takes you.
Yes. Thank you so much. So Amy's information is here again. Her email. But feel free to reach out to her on LinkedIn as well, under this Amy Branford, and it's there. Just connect with her, and I'm sure she'll connect with you instantly. Okay. So there you go. But I appreciate you.
Not instantly, but definitely tomorrow morning when I wake up.
Okay. And now, what time is it in South Africa right now?
It is 5 to 11.
Oh, okay. Oh, so good night.
I know, I had to put new makeup on specially for you today.
You know what? And I appreciate that. You look fine. You would have looked fine regardless. So it's okay. But I appreciate that. All right. So you take care, Amy. Thank you so much. I appreciate you taking the time to come on. We'll have to do it again. A lot of good information, though. A lot of great information. GuestRevu. If you don't know about GuestRevu, please, hotels especially, go GuestRevu.com. It's right there. And all the information is there, what they do, what they can do for your hotel. And then we go from there. So there you go. So thank you so much again. You guys have a great day. This was On Air with Russell of Hotels. You know, that live hospitality talk show that everyone's talking about. This was 344. This was show number 344. And I appreciate you, Amy. And you have the last words, Amy. So take it away.
Thank you for having me, and have a wonderful day, everyone. And Russell, you are amazing.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. You take care, and we'll see you soon.